Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I'm your girl, Candy Washington. So, before we dive into today's episode, which is really just wrapping up season 4 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, talking about reunion part 3. But because part 3 was kind of flat, in my opinion, I want to touch upon reunion part 3, but also talk about the rumored the newbies coming onto the show, Monica, Tanisha, Heather, other stuff going on. So we're really going to get into it. But before we do that, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. And be sure to drop your questions in your comments where you're listening from in the chat box. So with that, let's go. So first up, this is a deep dive from Variety, and it breaks down part 3 of the reunion, and then also it adds in other burning questions. And I want to go through it because it also brings in production. I think that for the Real Housewives, this is kind of one of the, not the first, because I think it really happened with Scandival and some of the other franchises where production is a really big key character and player, where everyone is like, what did production know? What did they not know? How were they involved? How were they not involved? So I think that's what's really interesting about this, is that production is kind of its own character. So let's dive right on in. If I'm looking up this way, I'm just reading the article. Okay. So this is according to Variety. It says Monica Garcia will not be returning for season 5 of Bravo's The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City after she was unmasked in the January 2nd season finale as an abusive troll who had anonymously attacked the members of the cast since 2021. Monica's castmate Heather Gay, who's been on the show since the beginning, had received the receipts, proof, timeline, screenshots of Garcia's deception on the final day of filming of the show's 4th season during a trip to Bermuda. In an exclusive interview for Variety's Making a Scene, Heather says when she got the confirmation that Garcia was behind the burner Instagram account, Blvd, she wasn't even sure she'd even be allowed to bring it up on camera. Social media has never been a part of the storyline, Heather says. I didn't even know if production was going to listen to me. Well, Heather, that's not true. Social media has been a big part of the storylines. Don't forget that there was the whole storyline about whether or not Jen Shah was doing these sort of, troll social media accounts going against Meredith's son, Brooks. And she said she had her whole like cybersecurity. So social media was a part of the storyline there. And then also don't forget Angie Harrington and her husband created the fake account Shaw's Exposed, outing Jen Shah and Lisa Barlow. So social media has been a big part of the storyline. So I'm not sure what she meant by that. I don't know, but we've had accounts of trolls, burner accounts, and people using social media to attack each other before as big storylines. Okay. They were wise to, as it turned out, because Heather's exposing Monica during the women's final dinner led to an epic finale, one that immediately became a classic Real Housewives episode. Garcia's actions as the troll, Blvd, caused the show's entire full-time cast to unite against her, and her presentation during the 3-part reunion, the last of which premiered on January 23rd, didn't score her any points, as she went from attack mode to, by the end, seeming defeated. The result of all these factors has led to her ouster from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, the show's producers confirm. Now, this is the thing, to me, I would agree with that assessment. I think when it came to the reunion, Monica came in hot. She came in guns blazing. She came in swinging. There was no contrition. She wasn't apologetic. She wasn't even embarrassed. She was just going at it. Where by the time it got to the end, she was just beaten down. And I think, again, the biggest reason why that is what Heather Gay said. Nothing unites people more than a common enemy. And I think the fact that all of the women were united against her, she didn't really stand a chance. And of course, she didn't win any, points because she didn't have any type of accountability or resolve around what happened. What I love about reunions is it's like the Housewives Court of Law, says Andy Cohen, the executive producer of the Real Housewives franchise, who also hosted the reunion. I think if Monica had come out and was able to sway even one of the women back on her side, it might be a different conversation right now. I agree with that. That's why I think the united front is what got her out. Lori Gordon, the series showrunner, says the whole franchise is based on friends and the people who know each other and circulate in the same circles. And at the same time, the women just need a cooling off period. And I think it's too soon. They've articulated it. It's too soon for them to re-enter into a friendship, a trusting friendship. Not enough time has passed. I agree. I would not want to be around this woman ever again. I don't think she will ever be back. I think this is just Bravo covering themselves. Oh, don't say ever, never. This is a pause, a cooling off period. I don't think they'll ever bring her back. I think that Monica will be on Traders. I think she'll be on Bad Girls Clubs. I think she'll maybe do some shows like that, but I don't think that they will ever bring Monica back to the Real Housewives. One, because of what she did, but two, because she lied on production. She got up there part 3 and said that production knew. She made the claim that she told in her first casting interview that she was Virality Von Tease, this, Instagram troll account, burner account. Andy Cohen was quick to deny that. All of the producers, and I mean all of them, we're talking about executives from NBC Universal, executives from Bravo, executives from Shed Media. Shed Media is the people who actually produces Boots on the Ground, the show. They've all come out and said, we did not know. So then for her to get on the show and lie on production, I think that was the real nail in the coffin. Because, whether the women want to film with her or not, there's workarounds with that, but the fact that she got up there and lied on production, they were like, no, thank you, ma'am. Okay. Season 5 will begin production on February 5th, according to Heather, and though Garcia helped the show's fourth season enter the pantheon of Real Housewives seasons, and her duplicitous actions provided the season with its arc, Lisa Shannon, who is the Senior Vice President of Programming and Development at Shed Media and also an executive producer, echoes Gordon. We're starting to film relatively soon. I think everyone needs a minute, says Shannon. If Garcia plays her cards right, though, she might be able to find her way back on the show. Who knows? Andy Cohen asked rhetorically. Anything can happen, and I love a comeback, and it would be very cool to find a path forward to her. Yeah, right. They always say that about the housewives that they fire. Like, please. But Lisa and Lori are right. It feels way too raw right now. Basically, Monica, you shot yourself in the foot when you tried to throw production under the bus and you lied on those people. They were like, not today, Satan. Heather is relieved by the decision and is resolute. Monica has no connection with any of us right now, she says. There's no chance that she will be in my home, in my business, or around me anytime soon. During the reunion, Heather and Lisa Barlow asked Andy Cohen whether Bravo and the producers knew that Heather was Reality Von Tease, or to quote Barlow, you guys brought her on with knowing she wanted to effing take every single one of us out, and no one gives a F. As Monica proclaims, she told production the first time they came to her house during casting. Andy Cohen scoffs at the idea. If you said you run a burner account, he tells her, we wouldn't have cast you. Andy, the thing with Andy Cohen is he's clearly like listening to someone who's in his ear, like literally in his little earpiece, who's telling him what to say. The problem with that is like we all know Andy Cohen really isn't hands-on anymore, even with casting. That's why we have shows that he does the reunion for and that he is the executive producer on, but he's never even met the talent. On Watch What Happens Live, the show Martha's Vineyard, there was some of the cast people on there who was meeting Andy Cohen for the first time in the clubhouse, which is fine. Executive producers, they're not boots on the ground. They're not doing casting. But it's kind of funny for Andy to be like, we would have never cast you. It's like, boy, come on now. But anyway, I'm actually with Andy on all of this for the most part. I don't want to shade him too much, Anyway. Shannon says no one behind the scenes knew that Monica had been posting as Reality Von Tease, and the idea of it violates production's bond with the cast. I believe production. I don't think they knew. You have to have the trust of your cast, Shannon says, and we would never jeopardize the trust of the cast, nor would the network, nor would Andy, especially over something so seemingly silly. And not knowing that it's going to pay off, we just would never do that, especially with the entire cast. You're really blowing up your relationship with everybody. Well, this is the thing. I think that they're saying it's because of the trust of the cast. The reason why I think they didn't know isn't because they want to keep the trust. I think they didn't know because they didn't do their due diligence in the casting process. Do you know what I mean? They didn't do enough of a background check. They didn't do enough of crossing their T's and dotting their I's. If they would have just checked the restraining orders and the cease and desist that Jen Shah's lawyers had sent them, they would have seen, oh, Monica Fowler, is that the same Monica Fowler assistant? Do you know what I mean? So I don't think it's that production was so worried about the trust of the cast. I think production just was sloppy in their weeding out of people and doing the casting process. But now, looking back, they're like, oh, we would never lose the trust of the cast. Well, you lost the trust of the cast because you didn't do your due diligence in casting. You know, if you're going to put people together in what could be very volatile situations, there's lots of alcohol, there's a lot of egos going on. You know, if you're going to put people in these very volatile situations that can be volatile and violent, you need to do a better job at vetting these people. Do you know what I mean? So that's kind of where I stand with that one. Okay. Now, Shannon says that if they'd found out about reality volunteers during filming, or even if Monica had come to them and confessed, they would have helped her to craft a way to help her tell them so she wasn't so busted and left without any excuses or explanations. Had we known, we probably would have encouraged her much earlier on to have a come to Jesus with the ladies, Shannon says. I believe that. I do think that if they had known and they still wanted her on the show, I think that production would have been the one to orchestrate how it came out rather than Heather Gay doing it with production, right? So in her interview, Heather tells Variety the story of what happened after she got off the phone with the person who confirmed to her that Monica was Reality Von Teese. After getting through her hesitation about bringing it up on camera, she told Gordon that she wanted to speak with Lisa, Meredith, and Whitney and the other original Salt Lake City cast members who had been targeted by the account. I can't tell you how bonding it was for us just to have that moment together as friends, Heather says. This has not happened in 4 years of me being friends with Lisa, for her without hesitation to say, we have your back. Andy loves the beach scene, the imagery of which has drawn the season 1 finale of Big Little Lies. When you see the 4 of them on the beach and she says, the 4 of us have been through a lot, Cohen says. I think in that moment you see a level of sisterhood that's kind of a sisterhood that I love seeing on the Housewives. I love when they find common ground. I do too. And like Heather said at the reunion, you know, nothing brings people together more than a common enemy. And that common enemy is Monica. Knowing that she had her fellow castmates behind her, Heather says she began to plan what she would say at the dinner. Once I knew that I was going to be able to confront Monica at dinner, there wasn't a minute that I was getting ready that I wasn't rehearsing in my mind. What am I going to say? How am I going to say this? What am I upset about? Clearly, Heather was able to articulate what she was upset about, creating a moment that Real Housewives fans will never forget. She's extremely eloquent, Heather, and I thought that her entire speech was epic, honestly, Gordon says. So there is all of that. So when it comes to that, I want to know what you guys think about all of this. What do you think about, you know, Monica claiming in the reunion part 3 that production knew? And then production coming out and saying, no, we didn't. What do you think about Monica already being fired? And what do you think about Heather and all of the women coming together and banding against her? Now, when it comes to part 3 of the reunion, I feel like we already knew everything that was coming. I love that they had more footage of her stalking. I love that the women were united. I feel like Monica was defeated. And the burn book, that was a complete flop. The burn book was a huge nothing burger. And I hate when people come to the reunions with these types of receipts that are like non-receipts. Like, what was the point of the burn book? Just to be silly? It was ridiculous. So put it down below. Let me know what you guys think about the part 3 reunion, the burn book, Monica being fired, and all of that. So with that, oh, and be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to our next story, which is the new alleged cast members for the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. So as everybody knows, Monica has officially been fired, put on pause, a cooling off period, whatever you want to call it. The chick is gone. Now, word on the street, and according to Reddit, these are the 2 new housewives that are going to be replacing Monica on the show. So the first housewife her name is Melly Workman. And then the second one, her name is Brittany Bateman. And according to insider sources, they have been planning on replacing Monica Garcia for season 5. But I think they're not just replacing Monica. I think they're replacing like Monica slash Jen Shaw, because I think that's been a big part of the cast that has been missing. I think it's been too few women. It really has been that core 4, world 5 with Jen, which was like Whitney, Lisa, Meredith, and Heather. And then Jen was kind of like the core 5, but we need more housewives. We need more relationships and drama and personalities. So I'm happy that they're bringing on 2 new people. But do you guys think that these 2 women look a lot like Lisa Barlow and Meredith Marks? It's kind of like, I don't know. It's like weird. Like they look just like them. Like remember in season 1 when Meredith and Lisa looked so much alike, it was really hard to tell them apart. And now they're bringing on basically, bizarro versions of Lisa and Meredith. Like to me, Melly looks like a bizarro version of Lisa, and Brittany looks like a bizarro version of Meredith. But let's look at these women a little bit more. So this is Brittany Bateman, and according to her Instagram, she's an actor, singer, entrepreneur, and this is what she looks like. And I'm kind of like, she looks like Meredith Marks. It's going to be a crew of clones. I am interested to see these ladies' dynamics, how they know the women on the show. And then are these 2 women friends, or are these 2 strangers coming onto the show? You know how they did in Jersey, where they had the 2 women come on the show and they were both like younger women, but they weren't friends. And so instead of becoming friends, they started fighting each other. I forgot what their names were, but that was a bit of a flop to me. But what do you think about this? I think it's cool. I'm going to look at their Instagram a little bit more. And then this is Melly Workman, and she says she's a Utah-based model. This is her with Whitney. She's talking about motherhood, and she's just trying to homestead in her HOA. So I think that'll be really, really interesting. And to me, she looks like a bizarro Lisa Barlow, right? I should have had side by sides. And by bizarro, I don't mean like less attractive or more attractive. I just mean that they look very similar. It's giving very much like Lisa and Meredith vibes. So I think it'll be very interesting to see these women's dynamics together, whether they're friends coming into the group, and then also their dynamic with the women who are already in the group. Is she friends with Whitney? Then what does it mean for her relationship with Lisa? Does she know Heather? So that'll be really, really interesting. But I'm excited for some fresh faces. I'm excited for some fresh blood. These women look normal. They look happy. They're beautiful. I think both of them are married. And they seem to be successful. So we'll see. We'll see. I think that they are on the right track here with casting, just from a gut level, but we'll have to see how it plays out. They start filming very soon, February 5th, which is right around the corner. So they're going to start filming super soon, picking cameras back up. So it'll be really interesting to see how that goes down. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below. What do you think about these 2 rumored new cast members, Brittany and Melly, I think her name is. To me, they look like Lisa Barlow and Meredith Marks. Like, that's just all I see. But it'll be interesting to see what you guys think. So put it down below and be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to our next story. So now that season 4 has wrapped and Monica has been fired, the reunion is over, what is next for this single white female stalker chick? Obviously, it's a book. So apparently, Monica wants to write a tell-all book after she's been fired, and then she was also trying to get people to call Bravo's hotline and customer service to get her back on the show, almost like a change.org movement. Girl, just stop. Just lie down. In the words of Heather Dubrow, when everyone says you're dead, lie down. Okay? But let's get into it. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says Monica Garcia may not have been asked back to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City for the series' upcoming 5th season, but that doesn't mean fans have heard the last of her. On Tuesday night, amid the conclusion of the 3-part season 4 reunion special, Monica took to her Instagram page with a series of photos of herself holding her infamous burn book against her castmates. She also teased the potential publishing of a new book, while also reacting to fans who spoke of her firing. This is the thing, Monica, you bringing the burn book at the reunion was a complete flop. It was beyond a nothing burger. Like, girl, I don't even know why you thought that was cute, why you thought that was a kiki. Like, all your mask fell. You didn't have any good shade. You didn't have any good reads. You were just really angry, throwing temper tantrums, calling people old and ugly, and that was pretty much all you did for 3 parts of the episode. And then you brought this corny burn book that really you should have saved a tree. You should have saved the tree because it was literally nothing. The person who came through with the receipts was Heather. She had voice recordings, she had video. She came through with all types of receipts, nothing that you could dispute. So please sit down. The person who burned you was Heather. She got you good. Well, and by Tanisha. So I'm not buying her a book. Whatever. But let's keep going. Might publish a book. What? Like, it's hard? Monica wrote in the caption of her January 23rd post. Like, why do you have to take shots at Heather Gay? Because we all know Heather Gay has her book, Bad Mormon, which is doing really good and she really loves it. So leave Heather alone. You lost, Monica. You tried to infiltrate this group of women. You got exposed. You got fired. You lost. Just leave the women alone. Leave them alone. Walk away. Final episode tonight, and I cannot wait to hear all of your thoughts, she added. Girl, bye. After sharing the post, Monica was met with tons of reactions from her fans and followers, some of whom responded to the news that she would not be a part of season 5. Worst decision by Bravo ever made, one person exclaimed. Why would they get rid of the queen who saved the franchise? You just might be 2 shades too dark for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, but I definitely would buy your book, mama. Monica fans, screw loose. In response, Monica shared a couple of pink heart emojis with her fan. Girl, bye. Another person begged, please tell me their reports aren't true. And in a comment, Monica left the person an emoji with 2 pink hearts. On Tuesday, following the news of Monica's firing from the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City cast, rumors began swirling in regard to 2 potential newbies who may be replacing her, Brittany Bateman and Maylee Workman. Again, I will show you guys the 2 potential replacements. It is these 2 women, Maylee Bateman and Brittany. And I'll say it again, they just look like Lisa and Meredith. So I'm really interested to see what these women's personalities are and who they're friends with and how it all works. Because to me, they just look like carbon copies of Lisa Barlow and Meredith Marks. So I think that'll be really, really interesting. But at this point, anyone and anything is better than Monica. So here we go. Although not much is known about the women and their potential roles quite yet, Brittany's Instagram bio describes her as an actor, singer, and entrepreneur who works at Summit Sotheby's International Realty. Oh, that's actually pretty cool. Anyway, Maylee states that she is a model in Utah and a happy juice dealer. No word yet on when season 5 will go into production, but we actually know they will go into production on February 5th. Now, this is the thing, Monica. Nobody wants to read a book from you. Like, girl, bye. There's nothing original about you. Wait, and what is your book going to say? We already know everything, allegedly. And that's another thing about the part 3 of the reunion and Monica herself. Remember when I said that at the very end of the finale, it's like the last 3 minutes, and Monica's like, there's so much more to come. You guys don't even know. There's so much more that you guys need to know. And I was like, this is giving Scandival vibes. This is giving the whole at the last 5 minutes of the reunion with, Rachel. It's gonna change everybody's mind. It's gonna be this big thing. And it turned out to be a big nothing burger where Rachel didn't really say anything that we didn't know and that mattered. Very similar energy. Monica didn't say anything new in all 3 parts. She didn't bring up anything, didn't make any sense, was talking about how the feds told her to stalk Jen Shaw and see if she was driving drunk, like all this like fantastical, weird stuff. Monica, just sit down. I'm going to give you some advice, Monica. Monica, you need to open up a fans only account. I think you'd probably do very well there. No shade. I'm being serious. Open up a fans only account. Get some paper, boo boo. Then I think you need to go on like either just like chill, get a different job or just coast with your alimony, do whatever you want. But maybe look at a different type of franchise, a different type of show. Maybe Zeus Network, maybe VH1, maybe Tubi, maybe BET. I don't know. Find something else. Do a Bad Girls Club. Do something else. But this isn't it. This isn't it. But I want to know what you guys think. Are you reading a book by Monica when she couldn't even come through with her quote burn book? Girl, bye. But leave it down below and be sure to like, subscribe, and share. So with that, let's move on to our next story. So this has been a hot question that Heather Gay has been getting a lot. Why did she forgive Tanisha, the hairstylist, but she hasn't been able to forgive Monica, the troll blogger? And she gets into it at the reunion and then also in subsequent interviews. So let's get into it now. So this is according to Reality Blurb. It says, Heather Gay appeared on Tuesday night's episode of Watch What Happens Live, where she explained her friendly status with hairstylist Tanisha Luckett. While looking back at the drama of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City Season 4, Heather shared why she was more upset about Monica Garcia's troll account than Jen Shah's fraud schemes, and accused Monica of being, quote, obsessed with the cast and looked ahead to the upcoming 5th season of the show, which reportedly will see new women replacing Monica. So this is the thing, before we get into it, I'm so confused why people keep comparing Jen Shah to Monica. It's apples to oranges. Jen Shah did a Ponzi telemarketing scheme against the elderly, which is wrong and horrible, and that's why she is in federal prison. Monica did a fraud scheme to infiltrate the lives of these women in order to get on the show. These are two different things. Two different things. I said it before, I'll say it again. Jen Shah robbed the bank. Monica robbed you. She went into your house and robbed your stuff. Jen Shah robbed the bank. These are two different things. And I don't understand why people don't get that. Do you know what I mean? I don't understand people like keep trying to bring up Jen Shah. Like, let Jen Shah be in prison. Like, leave Jen Shah alone. She's not a part of this. She's not even here. But let's keep going. We thought it was honorable for Tanisha to come forward, incriminate herself, and mea culpa the whole thing and tell us. Otherwise, we would have been stuck in the dark, knowing things that didn't add up and not knowing why, Heather explained on the January 23rd episode of Watch What Happens Live. This is the thing. Why is everybody, and by everybody, I don't mean us candy canes because we're not like this, but why is everybody so quick to try to throw jabs at Tanisha? Tanisha is not on the show. She is not a housewife. She did not infiltrate these people's lives. She knew about the account, but she did not run the account. She did not create content for the account. She did not post on the account. Again, apples to oranges. They just are doing everything they can to not hold Monica accountable. And of course, Heather is going to be more pissed at Monica than Tanisha. Tanisha is her hairstylist. That's it. Monica was claiming to be her friend, trying to infiltrate her circle, was posting all of this stuff. It's apples to oranges. Just because Tanisha had knowledge of something doesn't make her as guilty as the person who was actually doing the thing. If my friends went out here and robbed a bank, but I didn't ride in the car with them, I wasn't at the crime scene, I was just on the group chat when they were talking about robbing the bank, I don't go to jail for that. I wasn't on the scene. I did not actively participate. Did I have knowledge? Yes. I was in the group chat. Everybody was talking about we're going to go rob a bank. I'm in the group chat though. I didn't ride in the car. I didn't drive the car away. I didn't go in the bank. I'm not going to jail. I'm not going to jail. So it makes me, I don't understand why people keep trying to villainize Tanisha and give Monica a pass. It's two different things. And also, Tanisha, just like Heather said, she came forward and she was apologetic. She was humble and she felt really bad and she was honest. Versus Monica, who came out and was cussing people out, had no contrition, was hateful and full of vitriol. So, yeah, I'm going to forgive the person who had knowledge of something but did not participate in it and actually feels bad, because all human beings, we've done some messed up stuff. All of us have probably gossiped about people or kikied about people or knew some stuff was going on and said nothing, But the fact that she felt bad and was honest and owned her part is very, very, and actually wanted forgiveness, is very, very different than Monica, the person who actually did it and the person who is doubling down on doing it. Do you know what I mean? So completely apples to oranges there. But let's keep going. So, because Heather is only a side gig for Tanisha, and her involvement with Monica and relative aunties has caused so much backlash, Tanisha doesn't want to work with Heather anymore. I don't believe that. That's not true. I think that because if you watched the episode of Watch Happens Live, I watched it. I think Heather just said that because she was trying to protect Tanisha, but I don't think that's true. If you listen to all of Tanisha's interviews, she loves Heather, glowing things about Heather. I think that Heather and Tanisha are going to work together for a very long time. And I think Heather just said Tanisha didn't want to work with her anymore because she was trying to take the heat off of her. But I don't believe that for 1 second. I think they still work together. When Andy Cohen then mentioned that Heather and her castmates seemed to be way more upset with Monica than they were with Jen amid her crimes against the elderly, Heather said they were simply offering support to someone they thought they knew. Essentially, Jen denied ever having any guilt until she pled guilty, and she denied it the morning she pled guilty. We were supporting her in what she was professing to be saying, Heather shared. None of us wanted to defraud the elderly, and Jen at least was herself when she was doing that. Monica came on as a completely different person. We don't know who she is really. How can we really support her? During the airing of season 4, it was revealed that Monica had been doing drive-bys at Jen's house, and as Heather revealed, Jen wasn't the only cast member Monica wanted to know about. That's another thing. Monica had asked Tanisha for Heather's address, and she did not give it to her. It's another reason to be on Tanisha's side. She wanted all of our addresses. I have the receipts, Heather stated. She wanted to know where we lived. She wanted to know what we were driving. She was obsessed with being adjacent to the show. Although a lot of the drama came from Monica's addition to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City cast, Heather said her presence has also united the rest of the women. Nothing bonds you more than a common enemy, and I can thank Monica for bringing us all much closer. I think we were all really upset, and we were waiting to see what she had to say to excuse herself, and she really didn't say anything, Heather explained. This backs up what Monica's mom said. Remember in that leaked video of the fight between Monica and her mom? What did Linda say? She said, all you did was unite those 4 a-holes. All you did was bring those 4 a-holes together. Monica's mom was spot on, and Heather just said it. Nothing bonds you more than a common enemy. Linda was spot on. She said, all you did was unite those 4 a-holes. Not that they're a-holes, because I don't think that, but that's what Monica's mom said. That's not me calling them that. That's what the mom said. Anyway, after then naming Whitney Rose as the cast member who would be first to forgive Monica and taking aim at Monica's burn book, saying it's been and it was not her idea, Heather reacted to the leaked video of Monica and Mom. I mean, give them both snowflakes. They had a plan, she alleged. After finally admitting that Jen gave her a black eye, Heather reacted to Jen's, or whoever is posting on social media on her behalf, response to the matter, which threatened a lawsuit and accused Heather of slander and defamation. Now, Jen Shah, shut up. Just do your bid in prison and shut up. I believe Heather, because it's the story that makes the most sense, and it's the story that we've always said. Heather was drunk, Jen Shah was drunk, things got crunked, she got a black eye, and that's what it was. That's what it was. The thing with me is, I don't know what Heather is so traumatized about when it comes to the black eye. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm confused what you're so traumatized about when it comes to the black eye, Heather. Not that, and I'm not dismissing violence by any means, but the way she told the story did not equate to violence. The way Heather told the story was, it was a weird night. I was really drunk. She was really drunk. We were all just really drunk. There was a lot of drinking, and I basically blacked out, and I just woke up with the black eye, and I was like, it must have been Jen. Jen must have did it. So how is that trauma? Like, and let me break what I mean by that down. It's not like Heather was like, oh, we were drunk and we got into a fight and Jen punched me in my face. That would be traumatic. That would be a fight. That would be assault because they called it assault on the reunion. And I was like, hold up, y'all about not now Jen can sue you because she never said she was assaulted. They said the word assault. Now she can sue you because if you guys are claiming that allegedly, Heather just said, yeah, we were drunk and we were wasted. Things got weird and I woke up with a black eye. How is that a fight? How is that assault? To me, that could have been anything. Were you guys drunk and roughhousing and she pushed you, or you guys were laughing, or something happened? And Jen the next day didn't look like that. Jen looked embarrassed and scared. She didn't look like I just got into a physical fight with my best friend and socked her in her face. So that to me, I felt like Heather Gay was milking it because she wanted sympathy for the fact that she had lied for so long for no reason. And also, she tried to throw production under the bus. Oh, maybe it was a sexy producer who came in. Like, girl, bye. So I think that she was sensationalizing how she got the brown eye, making it more violent. And she had all this trauma and she was just so scared of Ginger, to cover her own tracks because she knew she messed up when she lied on production. She knew she messed up when she kept the lie going for too long. To be honest with you, I don't think Jen Shaw assaulted Heather. I think they were drunk. I think they were both wilding out. I think one thing led to another, and somehow she got popped in the eye. To me, it's more of a drunken accident. That is what I think happened. I think it was a drunken accident, and I think that Heather, for whatever reason, just didn't want to say that and kind of roped and kind of in her own codependency instead of just saying it herself, she put the burden on Jen to say, does anybody hear when I say what happened to the black eye? We need a cover story, blah, 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 because I think she was embarrassed. I don't think Jen Shaw assaulted Heather Gay. I don't think that they were in some fight and she punched her. I think it was a drunken accident. And I think the story snowballed because Heather didn't just say that. You see what I'm saying? It was so stupid and so ridiculous. And that's why I think Jen is like, I'm gonna sue you for slander and defamation because the way they were framing it, you would have thought Jen and Heather got into a physical fight and punched her in her face and blackened her eye, which which isn't what happened according to Heather herself. She said it was a weird night. We were all drunk, and I woke up with a black eye. Misadventure by drunkenness. So, Heather, I get it. You're trying to save your own snowflake because you don't want to cross production, but you did cross production by lying on them and just own it. And you kept the black eye story going for too long. Nobody cares. Anyway, let me know what you guys think about this. Put it down below. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see. Ooh, there's more stuff. Let's continue on to see what else she said. Okay, here we go. It was a typical response, and I think she absolutely watched it, and I hope she was glad that we at least uprooted Monica, who had really been after her the whole time, Heather noted. Following the conclusion of the reunion, Heather admitted Monica's performance left a bit to be imagined. She promised us a lot more to the story, and she promised us that there was a lot more to be heard, and it fell completely flat. She had nothing to say. She couldn't even say sorry, Heather pointed out. I agree with that. While Heather has made it clear that Monica's troll account against the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City cast is unforgivable, a caller wanted to know why she wasn't as upset with Angie Harrington's husband, Chris, when he hosted an account against Jen. I was never supportive of that, but it was one comment. He came clean. He apologized, she stated. He wasn't a housewife, and Monica came on with an agenda. She led with all of this truth-telling except for the hugest thing. And she had to say was, I've been trolling you guys for years. I know your kids' names. I know where you live. I know where you work. She acted like she was meeting us for the first time and wanted to be our friend, and that was a lie, and that is unforgivable. I agree because there's levels to this. Was what Angie Harrington and her husband, what they did was cringy and weird. Yeah, the whole Jen Shaw exposed account, 100%. But they came clean. They told the truth. And they weren't trying to infiltrate the group. And they weren't stalking the women. They were just talking crap online. And that's the thing that people don't get. They're like, who cares she's a blogger? Who cares she had a shade account? It's not that she's a blogger. It's not that she had a shade account. It's all of it plus the lying and the deception and the stalking and the infiltrating and all of that stuff and the fraud. That is what it's really all about. Because at this point, we're all on social media. We're all trolls. You know what I mean? We all have an opinion. We're all commenting and posting and talking about things. That's not the issue, you know? If she came clean and this is the person we're filming with, we would have worked through it. She insisted. It was the deception for the entire season, especially for someone who says she's a truth teller. Exactly. When one caller asked why Angie was not included in her beach chat with the cast about Monica, Heather explained she didn't know the level of trauma Angie sustained. That's a lie. She says, I had witnessed what it had done to Whitney, Lisa, and Meredith, and that's why I brought them out for it. She then offered an update on where she stands with Whitney. I don't believe that, Heather. I don't believe that. This is what I think. You knew that Monica, through her troll account, had said Angie's husband was gay, sleeping with men and cheating on her. They were part of the Greek mafia. They were broke. They were frauds. They owed the IRS thousands of dollars. That's a lot of drama. The reason why she did not ask Angie to the beach, and I'm actually happy she didn't, I think that was the right choice, is because what was going on was really, and not to dismiss Angie, because I actually really like Angie now. Now that she's found her voice and she's been activated, I actually really like Angie a lot more. So not to dismiss what happened to Angie, because she was done dirty. She was done dirty and I feel bad for her. But the reason why I think Heather did not ask her was because she really wanted to bring in the core group of women, the OGs who started the show, who went through the mud with all of them, and also the whole Jen Shaw of it all. Because it wasn't just Monica's betrayal. Jen Shaw's betrayal was also baked into all of that. So it was really about these four women who started this journey together as the OGs and everything they've been through. She wanted to make sure that they were a united front against her. And I think that it would have kind of muddied it a little bit if Angie had been there. So I'm not mad at it. I think that was the right choice, not asking Angie to come. To me, the four of them as the OGs, it was a much more powerful statement. So I'm okay with Angie not being there. Heather, I don't believe your excuse, but I get it. You're being kind to Angie. You don't want to be like, girl, you just weren't included because you weren't gang. You see what I'm saying? So there it is. All right, let's keep going. We're in a great place. I love my cousin, she stated. Later on the Watch What Happens Live after show, Heather admitted she absolutely worries about people mistrusting her due to her hesitancy to come forward with a story about her black eye. When you evade accountability like that, karma's a bee, she noted. While Heather confirmed she has not spoken to Coach Shaw, she felt that Jen's camp would issue some sort of blanket denial or character assassination response to her black eye reveal on the finale of the reunion. When Heather was then asked if coming clean about Jen's involvement with her black eye sooner would have impacted Jen's criminal sentencing, she insisted she didn't know what happened, while also sharing she felt responsible for their encounter. I wasn't willing to roll the dice, especially because I felt culpable and I felt like it was my fault it all happened. Honestly, she explained. Yeah, that's the thing, Heather. You just felt embarrassed that you were drunk and you blacked out and you woke up with a black eye. Honey, we've all lived and we've all woken up from a night of blacking out and being like, what the hell happened? Right? We've all lived. The thing is, just own up to that. Like the next day, you just should have been like, oh my gosh, you guys, we got so wasted. We blacked out. Look what happened. Yikes. It would have been a laugh. It would have been a kiki. You guys would have had mimosas and it would have been over. It would not have blown up to what it's blown up to. The only reason why we're still talking about your stupid black eye is because you escalated the situation by not just coming out and saying honestly what happened. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, there you have it, guys. Let me know what you guys think and be sure to like, subscribe, and share. Now let's move on to my last story of the night. So the Real Housewives talk about, I don't want to do that. Let's just hear what Andy Cohen had to say about everything that went down with Monica, and then we'll chat. Let's just do that. Because I feel like this story, we've gotten it. We get it. So let's watch. Let me see if I can find it. So this is what Andy had to say today. Da-da-da. All right, here we go.
I guess, look, the big question since the reality Von Teese reveal has been, will you keep Monica on the show? And the news is out that we are going to have a cooling off period.
Okay. What does that mean?
Well, here's the thing. I think the reunion is the chance to come out, say why you did what you did on the season. It's the Supreme Court of public opinion.
True.
And so Monica, I think, had the opportunity not only to explain herself to the audience, but way more importantly in this case to the other women. And I don't think she successfully swayed any of them to her side. She didn't. And at the end, I really went around because I was thinking, okay, well, let's hear it from them all right now. Where do you stand with her? And they all expressed that they very much did not trust her, which is
I'm sure that would be hard.
Difficult way for her. Basically, it was what I was also asking is there a path forward for you and Monica? And the answer was no all the way around. So I think that it's best, we all discussed it ad nauseum, that it would be best to kind of let this one breathe for a while. She's obviously really compelling television. Maybe she'll be able to build some inroads with some of the women on her own,
Right.
off camera.
I can see that.
And, we'll see if that happens. But
Well, and aside from the reality Von Teese stuff, and of course I haven't seen this latest episode, but she did get her story out. This story about her and her mom, I think, probably helped a lot of people recognize certain behaviors in their own lives. Like she did get her story out in a lot of ways.
Well, I thought that was really a way to root for her.
Right,
And she
same.
told it in a way. I was certainly sitting there
Yeah.
rooting for her, thinking, wow, we all know the phrase hurt people hurt people.
That's exactly right.
And that's a really good example of it. If you look at her relationship with her mom, and then how she is with the friend group.
Yeah.
So
Wow, they've been through it this season.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, they've been through it this season. Wow, 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 wow. But Andy Cohen did confirm, and I just dropped the link in case anybody wants to come up. Andy Cohen did confirm what we said last night, that one of the big reasons why Monica got fired was because all of the women banded together and said there was no path forward with her. I also think a big reason why she got fired is because she lied on production and said production knew, and production was like, we don't play that game. You're not going to sit up here and lie on us, and then we're going to bring you back like we're fools. So let me see what you guys are saying in the chat box. Hey, Jacob. Jacob says, LOL, I'll be asleep before you go live. Oh, it's okay, Jacob. This entire reunion was pretty exhausting and not very fun. That great season, but the reunion was not. Hopefully next season is more lighthearted. I agree 100%. I think it needed to be more fun, more lighthearted. And I think with the two new women, hopefully there's a new blueprint for our housewives. And it's not this Jen Shaw, Monica, fraud, violent, loud weirdness. Hopefully we can get a new blueprint for the housewives, or at least go back to the original blueprint, like Elisa Vanderpump. Amy says, I hope she doesn't come back, but I feel like she might be like Brandy Glanville. Oop. Amy says, stuff is coming out about her. I would never film with her. Yep. Amy says, the burn book was so lame. I agree. Hey, Chocolate Chunks. Thank you so much for being a channel member. I appreciate you. The one on the right is Meredith's twin. Right? Right, that's what I'm saying. Like, these are the 2 new women who are rumored to be joining the show, and I was like, "You mean Lisa and Meredith Marks 2.0?" So, I think this is the one that looks just like Meredith Marks. This is Brittany, and then this is, Melly, and I think Melly looks just like Lisa Barlow. I agree. Monica is a professional troll, and anything to get Bravo gang stalked by fans, it's giving narcissist. That part. Monica's whole shtick was over talking, interrupting, rolling her eyes, making faces, and sulking. She was acting like a teenager. Hey, Miss T, thank you for being my mod. I appreciate you. Oh, come on. My computer's being slow. Chocolate Junk says, wait, that's hard. Copying Legally Blonde, just like she copied Mean Girls with her burn book. So tired. That part. Anna said she would be perfect on Bad Girls Club. Yeah, I mean, if she wants to be on reality TV, there's a lot of shows to be on reality TV. Just don't do what you did. Chocolate Chunk says, I can't believe people still believed anything Monica had to say after that nonsense about the feds asking her to stalk Jen Shaw. Totally delusional. I agree. Thank you, Miss T. That's right, you guys. Shop the collection down below. We have conspiracy teas and a bunch of other stuff. Anna says, Monica is filled with rage towards her castmates. I think a lot of Monica stands are filled with resentment toward people in their lives. I agree with that 100%. That's why they are identifying with her. Anna says they confuse this resentment rage with truth telling 100%. Chocolate Chunk says Monica had no remorse. She was not sorry for any of it. Why would they give her grace? Like a typical narcissist, she just wanted it swept under the rug as if nothing happened. That part. N-Dub says that story was dumb. I agree. The black eye story, like Heather, sweetie, just be like, I messed up. I totally blew up this black eye thing out of proportion. I just have been honest that we were drunk, weird stuff happened. I got a black eye, no big deal. It would have been a laugh, but you made it too deep. Miss T says, Heather, I'm so confused. Why did you have to lie? Exactly. Blaming production is low. I agree 100%. Anna says, at Chocolate Chalk, so true about how narcissists expect everything to be forgotten as if it never happened. This vintage Monica does something horrible, expects people to act like nothing happened. Yep. Chocolate says, at Anna, in her next move is to deflect onto Jen. She was all over the place. Yep. Miss T says, Heather isn't scared of Jen. Very unnecessary. I agree with that. I did think that it was a little bit over the top. How much the women were like, we are so afraid of Jen. She's horrible. We have this trauma around her. I'm like, oh, no, like, this is the thing. Who is actually scared of Jen Shaw? I'll wait, because nobody is actually scared. Like, what is Jen gonna do to you? I mean, I would be scared if you were an elderly person and she's running her scam. Yeah, I would be scared from a financial telemarketing scheme standpoint. But I mean, like, in a tangible way. Who is, like, what is Jen Shaw gonna do? She just yells and yaps and then she cries and denies. Who's really scared of Jen Shaw? What do they mean they're so scared of her? Like, that to me, I'm like, Heather, that's where Heather lost me, was how she was so scared of Jen and she was all this stuff. Like, that was a lot of, like, you just doing, like, that was a lot of Heather making that her personality, attaching herself to Jen and being this self-professed martyr to Jen. Because the truth is, you're right, Heather. Jen was never your friend, but the reality is you were also never Jen's friend. You didn't like her. You don't like her. You used her because you wanted to use her for cover to have a personality and a storyline for yourself. Your whole personality was catering to Jen Shaw and cowering at people. Your whole personality was going after Lisa Barlow. That was your whole personality. So you were just as fake as Jen, if not more so, because at least Jen was honest about who she was. Like, we all knew Jen was a hot mess fraudster. Come on now. Everybody knew that. But to be honest with you, you were just as fake as Jen, if not more so, because you pretended like you were her friend. You pretended like you liked her, when the truth is you didn't like Jen and you don't like Jen. So miss me with that. Anna says she's all over the place. Mom is toxic, excommunicated Mormon, DV victim, anything to serve a storyline. Nothing is real. I agree. Chocolate Chunk says, I think Heather wanted to protect Jen, but it doesn't mean Jen did it intentionally. It could have been because she didn't want to add to Jen's problems. Gustav says, Dana had a very interesting theory today. Ooh, what did Dana say? Angie H's husband wasn't a stalker. LOL, there's a difference. Exactly, Chocolate. Dana said she exposed Monica last May. She sold the receipts. Ooh, who did she expose her to? Natosky says, what did she say? Exactly. Miss T says, Angie clearly wasn't good at doing her dirt. She was caught immediately. So true. Gustav says, she said production knew and planned the whole thing. Dana, stop, Dana. Girl, stop. Please stop. Gustav says, it did seem too good to be true. Thank you, Miss T. Anna says, I think that's what it was. Jen was facing prosecution at the time. Once Jen pled guilty and more stuff came out, Heather had a chance to think about whether to tell the truth, which isn't that bad. Natosky says, so Dana says that Monica was actually telling the truth when she said production knew. Gustav says, one producer knew and kept it to herself and planned the finale show with Heather. Well, one producer knew and kept it the secret with Heather. Well, that doesn't make sense, though. Because Dana said that she told production and production knew, but now you're saying one producer knew and kept the secret with Heather? I'm confused on that one. Break that down. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense because if you're saying the producer and Heather was in cahoots, then that would mean that Dana told, I don't understand how that makes sense. Break that down more for me because I don't get that. Natosky says, but the producer never told Heather till the end and Heather wasn't mad. Exactly. I don't understand that. I don't get that one. Gustav says, didn't the last episode seem a little too well planned? No. Or Heather knew the whole time. Yeah, it definitely does. But that doesn't mean Heather knew the whole time, too. But he says, someone in production did learn about Monica. Of course, they'll never admit it. Gustav says, I can't remember, but Heather knew before the last episode. Yes, Heather did know. But we know that, though. Heather knew before the last episode. What happens in the last episode is that Heather gets confirmation. So Heather knew about Monica prior to the Bermuda trip, because her and Tanisha talked and Tanisha told her everything. But Heather didn't just believe Tanisha. She got the receipts from Tanisha. Then she also reached out to Bree, I think her name is Bree, her business partner, to get the information from Beauty Lab to see if it was the same Monica. And she also reached out to Meta, who owns Instagram, to see if they could track down IP addresses for the troll account. So yes, Heather knew before Bermuda, but she's already talked about that, but she didn't get confirmation until the Bermuda trip. And then once she got confirmation, then she told producers what was happening. And then she worked with producers to orchestrate the end of the finale. That makes sense. I'm not understanding the whole Dana, one producer, all producers. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense to me. I think Dana needs to just chill out, be on, just Dana, they don't want you back on the show. Just move on with your life. Move on, Dana. Move on. Dusty says, right. Gustav says, Dana said she posted that Monica was Von T's last May. Dana, stop. I literally poked my own eye out drunk asleep one night, right? Dana posted it in September. It just seems to me that last episode was too well rehearsed. There is a video from Variety with Andy and two producers stressing how they didn't know until the last day. Yes, that was the article we read. Chocolate Chunks, I could care less about Monica. I'm so glad she's gone. Me too. Hey, Thanos, at any job, they'll do background check. I'm pretty sure they knew all aliases names under her social security. How do we know that, though? You can have an alias name that's not under your social security. That's how people do fraud. Gustav says, I would go either way, but Monica did say she told them. I don't believe a word that comes out of Monica's mouth. I really, really don't. I really, really don't. He says, I'm getting the feeling this whole act that we didn't know until last day is an act. I don't think so. Because the thing is, I don't think that they're that keyed into what's going on. And they ended the season on that without knowing in advance. To me, that proves they didn't know. Because they ended the season on that in Bermuda on a cast trip. They've never ended seasons on cast trips before. So to me, that leads me to believe they didn't know. That's why filming stopped. Chocolate Chunk says, I don't believe Monica told production. And I think it's partly why she's been let go. She lied to everyone's faces and lied on her employers. That part. Yeah. Gustav is like, I'm like 60% something is off here. Miss T says, oh, Andy. Gustav says, lies. Hey, Vaca. And Dub says, how can anyone root for her when the mom was flip-flopping now online? Oop. Gustav says they still want to make money off of Monica. Chocolate Chunk says, again, typical narcissist coming with a sob story to garner sympathy and allies so they can eventually F you over and cry about their childhood made them do it. That part. Gustav says, is she fired? Monica? Yes, she's fired and she's being replaced allegedly by these two women. Miss T says, yes. Gustav says they are keeping Monica around. Vodka says, I only watched the first two reunions. The only thing I want to know is why is Heather hiding her black eye situation? That part. All right, you guys. This was so much fun. Oh, Joanne Sims says, Heather is still lying. She knows exactly how Jen punched her in the eye. You don't go to sleep and wake up with a black eye without knowing how you got it. She had a bruise on her upper right arm. Oop. All right, you guys, this has been so much fun. As always, be sure to like, subscribe, and share, and let me know what you guys think. Gustav says, didn't Andy just say on pause? Pause is code for fired. Pause it like Dorinda was fired, but they say on pause. It's just code. Anna says the cease and desist calls her Monica Fowler. Yes, so we talked about the cease and desist before. This is what I think happened. Do I think that Jen Shaw and her legal team sent Bravo, NBC, a copy of the cease and desist that they sent to Monica Fowler, to Koa Johnson, and another woman named Savannah Gonzalez, I think her name was. These were the three people that they sent the cease and desist to, saying that they believed they were the ones posting stuff on Reality Von Tease. Now, don't forget, NBC, Universal, Bravo, they are a corporation. I don't think all the departments talk to each other. And Shed Media is the ones who's doing the actual casting. Like Bravo and NBC, they're not casting. Shed Media is casting. So the fact that they sent a cease and desist to the legal department doesn't mean that the people who are casting the show ever received that. Particularly because that was in 2021 that they sent a copy of a cease and desist to whatever legal department they wanted to. And then they're casting for the show a year later. I think it's like departments in any type of corporation not talking to each other. If I send something to accounting, it doesn't mean HR is ever going to see it. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I think happened. I think it was just a lack of communication and a lack of due diligence, because at the end of the day, Bravo and NBC and Shed Media, they're just people. It's really just a corporation running a show. That's really it. There's no magic. These people aren't, magical mind readers. These are just people who happen to be creating shows. That's really all it is. So think about any 9-to-5 job. Somebody sends a bunch of paperwork to HR. Doesn't mean that the people in accounting, i.e. casting in the situation, are going to be privy to it. And it's really naive to think that they would be, especially if it's just Jen Shaw's camp sending some random people a cease and desist. I highly doubt Bravo or NBC even read the document or cared. Do you see what I'm saying? So you have to really think about it and make these situations real life, practical situations, and not put these people or shows or industries on some type of magical pedestal that they magically know everything. That's just not the case. At the end of the day, these are just normal people who just happen to have this type of job. So that's what I really think is going on. And that's right, Anna. It could also be another reason why she called herself Garcia all of a sudden, 100%. Whew. All right, you guys, I'm going to go. I'm going to get some dinner. But this has been so much fun. And that is a wrap for season 4 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. We made it, you guys. Monica got exposed. We have proof, receipts, timelines, screenshots. We did it. And if you guys have been with me since day one, I told you from day one something was wrong with Monica. She was a liar. She was a fraud. She was not to be trusted. And pretty much every single conspiracy theory that we've said has come to pass. I don't think we were wrong once. So, yeah, Candy Cane gang. So be sure to like, subscribe, and share. And also be sure to hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. And let me know what you guys want me to cover. Tomorrow we'll be doing all things Beverly Hills. We'll be doing Southern Charm as well. I need to get my little act together and put it together. But let me know other stories that you guys want me to cover, whether it's true crime or reality or pop culture. I want to branch out a bit. So give me some ideas. I want to make sure that I'm covering stories that you care about and you want to know about and you want to be involved in. So DM me, Instagram me, email me, comment below. I want to know your thoughts. But that is a wrap for season 4 of Salt Lake City. I'm looking forward to the 2 new women and learning more about them. I have a good gut feeling so far about them. I hope they're not flat, and I hope they're not trying to recreate a Monica. I think that would be the wrong road on both sides. But I love you guys, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Oh, wait, hold on. You guys are still talking. The doc says I'm following a new case in Missouri. It's wild. In Dub, it says, goodness, that was a crazy season for all the worst reasons. Chocolate Chunks says, Monica said she was in an entanglement for 4 years into her marriage that resulted in a divorce, then had a wedding again and got remarried, and now we're getting a divorce again in the first episode. Monica was all over the place. Yikes. I'm happy she's gone. But I have a feeling we'll see her again soon somewhere. Eek. Just not on my screen. All right, you guys, I love you, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.